What's going on, everybody? Appreciate everybody for tuning in. The Vikings Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, I want to get the pulse of the fan base a little bit. Normally, we don't do mailbags early on in the week, but with how chaotic it is in this Vikings organization and just the turmoil this fan base is going through, I felt like a mailbag was very, very appropriate. So hopefully you guys, enjoy this. But no pain, no gain coming in with the first question here saying, is there any hope for the Minnesota Vikings? So times are that bad right now. Now, obviously in the NFL, teams can flip on its head one offseason. We've seen that with Chicago Bears this year. There's always a surprise breakout team like the Patriots were drafting top 4 last year. Now the potential 1 seed in the AFC. So obviously you can flip on its head. In terms of hope, though, if there is any light at the end of this tunnel for the Vikings in this Kevin O'Connell era, it's probably that big. Like, it is super, super small because they are strapped against the cap next year. Your head coach has regressed as a play caller. I think the NFL has figured him out. Your GM sucks. Like, really does suck. Like, he sucks so bad. Drafting, trading, free agency, he's terrible. And you got the worst quarterback room in the NFL right now. So it's like, all right, you don't love your head coach, you don't love your quarterback, you hate your GM, and you're strapped against the cap for the next 2 years. Like, is there really any hope? Like, obviously anything can happen, but as of right now, not a whole lot. Vaporous coming in saying, do we need a new OC? I swear we don't even use him. Talking about Wes Phillips. I don't really think an OC is going to make too much of an impact. Now, maybe if you want to go out there and get a guy like Brian Dable, just because he has turned around like a guy like Josh Allen. So if you want to say like, oh, Brian Dable can come in and help a guy like J.J. McCarthy for sure. But I don't think the offensive coordinator, Wes Phillips, like what does Wes Phillips really do? Clearly he's not doing his job well since the Vikings go out there and score 0 points for the first time since 2007. But I don't think a new OC is necessarily necessary. Tommy Wood coming in saying, you've been saying Flores as our next head coach. Is there a college coach you would take? Yeah, I have been saying that the Vikings should move off O'Connell. I just don't think you're ever going to win a big game with them. And go to Brian Flores. But there is one coach I'd want in college. And I'm actually happy you asked this because I think my number one Kevin O'Connell replacement would be Brian Flores. But if there's number 2 for me, it would be Dan Lanning. He's a head coach at Oregon right now. And he kind of reminds me of Dan Campbell a little bit, which I think this Vikings organization needs, where they just need a tough guy to come in there who's going to add some physicality. He's going to love to run the piss out of the football. And he's just got this kind of contagious energy about him where, KOC does have an energy around him, but it's more of it's a finesse. It's like, hey, we're going to outsmart you. We're going to beat you in the X's and O's and all that, where Dan Lanning's like, hey, step in this ring with us. We're going to punch you in the mouth a couple times. And if you punch us, we'll keep on getting up and keep on going over and over again. Like, he really does remind me of Dan Campbell. So Brian Flores would be number 1 for me, but number 2, Dan Lanning, I would be pretty happy about that. Grifferonis, 3734, what's going on? Saying, why do you think we drafted Kobe King if we were just going to drop him? Hey, that's a great question for the GM. I mean, they probably envisioned Kobe King being the Ivan Pace Jr. replacement. But obviously with Eric Wilson playing some really good football this year, which is a huge sneaky positive of the season. I have no idea. I mean, obviously it was a 6th-round pick, so a 6th-round picks, you're just hoping to get like guys that make the roster. But I mean, the fact that he's on the Jets' 53-man roster right now, the Vikings have literally got like, think about this. That 6th-round pick, you pretty much just burn it. It meant nothing. He made no impact to his football team whatsoever. So very concerning. Why did they draft him? I have no clue. Big O saying, what do you think about Dallas Turner recently? Honestly, he's been the only saving grace for this team over the last couple of weeks. Like, obviously other guys have been playing really well, like Jalen Redmond, but he's been playing good all year. But over the last 3 weeks, man, like Dallas Turner showed me something. And he's always been an extremely, extremely athletic player. And it kind of feels like his pass rush moves, like they're all starting to come together a little bit. Like he's kind of got a bag, and he's starting to add more physicality to his pass rushes. He has been awesome, man. I mean, he's got 4 sacks over the last 3 games. He had 2 forced fumbles against the Seahawks. He has been awesome. So I will say, like, everybody was really down on Dallas Turner about a month ago, and he has completely kind of shut that door a little bit. And also, yesterday against the Seahawks, him having 2 sacks, like, Gennard was back, Andrew Van Ginkel was there, and he was still able to find himself making an impact. So, shout out to Dallas Turner. Type those 15s in the comments section. Twisted Wizard coming in with the best question of this mailbag. what percent of this team drafting problems are on lack of coaching development? I really appreciate Twisted for saying this, and I think more of the fan base kind of needs to get on this kind of wave right here. I've been saying Kwesi is the worst GM in the league. I still fully mean that. The coaching staff hasn't done Kwesi any favors because we have seen Ed Ingram this year. He goes to the Houston Texans. He's awesome. That's a coaching problem with the Vikings. I don't really chalk it up to Kwesi because clearly, like Kwesi's team and his scouting department got the profile right on Ed Ingram. A mauler, he can get downhill. Vikings just didn't use him right. Or clearly, like their coaching there is just not going well. And now he's over there in Houston, which Houston has had notorious bad offensive lines over the last couple of years, but he's popping. Garrett Bradbury, he's the starting center on the number 1 seed in the AFC. Mekhi Blackman, he's on a playoff team. So all 3 of those guys who were pretty much with us Vikings fans saying they're unplayable, they're on 3 playoff teams in the AFC. Now, do I think obviously Kwesi has had a ton of misses? Abso-freaking-lutely. But when you're talking about the Vikings' poor drafting, I still think 90%, maybe 80% of the misses go on the scouting department and the general manager. But the other 10 to 20%, like it's got to go on coaching. Because we've seen other young players, too, go to other teams and be really, really damn successful. Twisted, I think this is a great comment because I think people are just like, oh, if we fire Kwesi, like it's all going to change. Like, is it? Like, because your coaching staff also, I'm starting to believe, at least on the offensive side of the field, is pretty poor. But Twisted, I appreciate you. Reed Southern, what's going on, man? I feel bad for this team. I thought that we would go 12-5 this season, but I was completely wrong. But do you think we will draft a quarterback in this draft? I absolutely do not. I actually already know what the Vikings are going to do this offseason. And it's gonna piss me off. The Vikings this offseason will trade for Mac Jones, or they're bringing some type of veteran quarterback in the Mac Jones category. And what's going to happen is they're going to win 10 games next year. And then they're going to get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. And that's it. Then we'll just be stuck in purgatory. Then we'll have the 18th pick in the draft, and we'll be sitting to ourselves saying, like, all right, was Mac Jones the answer? Should we go get a franchise quarterback? Should we trade up for a guy? And we'll just be kind of in that no man's land. I think what the Vikings should do is you ride this thing out with J.J. McCarthy. You play him every single game, all of next season. I don't care if he looks like the worst quarterback alive, which he has. Like, if he looks like how he's been this whole year, I don't care. Ride it out. Because if you ride it out and he's that bad, you're not going to win many games. You're going to probably be a 3-win team. Then you're going to be drafting high in 2027. And also, if you do ride it out with McCarthy, that forces the hand of Kevin O'Connell, where it says, hey, KOC, I know you haven't changed your offense at all, but if you don't change your offense for J.J. McCarthy, you will be fired. So it kind of puts some pressure back on KOC. But if you just let KOC, and also another reason why I think they're going to go get Mac Jones, because they're trying to save their jobs. Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi, they can't have a 3-win season because they will lose their jobs. So what are they going to do? They're just going to give the Vikings fans a little hope. Hey, here's Mac Jones. We'll go to the playoffs. We'll be one and done, but you guys will be happy in the months of September, October, November, but you'll still be stuck in purgatory. Yeah, I'm with you, Reed. Just awful stuff. But let me get you guys' hot takes down below, because I think this is a very polarizing time in the fan base. It's even though it sucks, it's a very important time in this Vikings kind of history and this tenure that we're in right now. So you guys let me know, what is your hottest take on the Vikings? Get creative for me, whatever it may be. I cannot wait to go see the comment section on today's show. But give me your hottest take on the Vikings down below. I will dive into more questions from you guys here in a second, but I'll give a massive shout out to today's sponsor, and that is Factor Meals. Now, eat smart at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50off and use code VikingsChat50off to get 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. Now, the fall season always feels like a reset. Between back to school, busier routines, and shorter days, finding time to cook can be tough. That's why I love Factor. The chef-prepared, dietitian-approved meals make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious no matter how hectic the season gets. And I love Factor because they got more variety and more meals. Choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp, at no extra cost. You guys can also support your wellness goals, enjoy even more GLP-1 friendly meals, and new Mediterranean diet options packed with protein and good-for-you fats. So eat smart at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50off and use promo code VikingsChat50off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code VikingsChat50off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. This offer is only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Link for this will be in the comment section and description of today's show. Blake coming in, what's going on? Should the Vikings draft Jeremiah Love because he's probably the top prospect and because the play caller will be forced to run the damn ball? I mean, if you guaranteed me that, Blake, if you looked me in the eyes and said, if you draft Jeremiah Love, Kevin O'Connell will shift to a run-first offense, I would take Jeremiah Love number 1 overall. I am so serious. If you promise me, and I would even – we could take a running back who's projected to go in the 7th round, number 1 overall. If you said, hey, if we take that running back, KOC would be a run-first offense, I'm in. Now, the thing is, if you take Jeremiah Love and KOC doesn't shift that direction, then what the hell are we doing? That would be a waste of a draft pick. Kind of like very similar to like the Josh Oliver extension. Okay, you just gave Josh Oliver 3 for 24, but you're not going to run the ball, so why are you paying a blocking tight end $24 million over 3 years? Doesn't make any sense. But Blake, I'd be all in on Love. I think he's a hell of a player. Macaroni Joe coming with a $5 super chat. Appreciate you, Brody. Skull to the toilet bowl. Why can't KOC get out of his own way? Our roster is too talented. I think KOC's just got a little bit of an ego on him. I think he thinks like, hey, his offense is, that those deep in-breaking routes, like the high-level throws he asks his quarterback to make. Just the inability to have easy dump-offs, quick game concepts, slants, running the football, like that stuff. Like, he just refuses to do it. And, like, that's why, like, throwing Brosmer out there was a joke. I felt bad for Brosmer. He clearly wasn't ready, and he wasn't ready to run that type of offense. Like, if you put Brosmer with Ben Johnson and that run-first scheme they got over there in Chicago, obviously, he would struggle a little bit, but he wouldn't have 4 picks. He wouldn't have had the game he had because still KOC was throwing the ball 30-plus times, yet again with the UDFA quarterback making their first career start on the road in Seattle. Like, why didn't KOC just play ball control that game? Like, why didn't he just say, like, hey, we're going to lean on our defense. We're going to try to win this game 13-10. KOC would hate to win a game 13-10. He wants to win every game 31-28. That's just who he is. Why can't he get out of his own way? I think it's between the years. I think it's the ego. In terms of our roster being too talented, I kind of disagree with that. I think the Vikings roster is a little bit overrated. I mean, a lot of guys have taken steps back this current year. Mike Nintendo, what's going on, Nintendo? What team will the Vikings trade Jefferson to? Hopefully no teams, Mike. But if I had to call my shot, if I'm getting bold here and if I'm trying to think like the NFL wants to completely flip this league on its head, the Chiefs. Like that, or the Patriots. Chiefs or the Patriots, and if you go to the Chiefs, it'll be the next Brady Moss. Hopefully the Vikings don't trade him in the NFC. That would be fantastic. But if I had to call my shot here, Mike, I would go. I'll go Kansas City. Lego fellow coming in. If Jefferson leaves, do we keep Addison? I mean, yeah, you probably have to. I just don't know what Addison's gonna get. Like, obviously he's had the off the field stuff. He's had drop issues this year. He's taken a step back as a player. Haven't really seen that year-to-year growth that you're hoping for a guy entering year 4. You probably have to keep him, and maybe you sign him to like a $20 million per year contract, like 4 for $80. Maybe give him like the Cortland Sutton deal around those numbers. But yeah, I mean, if Jefferson leaves, like you got to keep Jordan Addison. M. Googs, what's going on? Long time no see. Supporting this channel, got you, Seeps. Appreciate you. Gotta ask, why is JJ not getting fed enough? Talking about Justin Jefferson, I got no good answer for you. I think one, like the quarterback play has been so poor, and also two, like KOC, like the routes he's got Jefferson running, it's like deep in, deep crossers, it's like all explosives in the passing game. Like the thing that's driving me crazy, like why not just give Jefferson a slant route? Just give him a quick out, 5-yard out. Use that as kind of a manufactured run game. Mike G, that's awesome. What's going on, Mike G? Yeah, I don't really have a good answer for you there. It's incredibly disappointing why Jefferson's not getting fed enough. I mean, the fact that he is going to lose his best wide receiver in the world title because of Kevin O'Connell and the bad quarterback play is incredibly frustrating. Um, I still think he's the best in the league. Now, yes, has he individually taken a slight step back this year? Yes, but Jefferson taking a slight step back is still the best receiver in the league. And we got people. Listen, I think George Pickens and Jackson Smith and Jamar Chase, they're hell of wide receivers. They can't sniff what Jefferson is. He's an all-time great talent, and it's just, yeah, it's concerning that KOC just can't get him the ball, no matter who the quarterback is. You got to be able to get your playmakers the football. It's historic, but we have been due for a run of poor seasons. I'm 44, seen it all. It's our time to be among the worst in the NFL for a few years, perhaps. Many to blame. Thoughts? Thoughts. I love it. Yeah, it is like the Vikings' time because they have never been a bad franchise. They have the fourth highest winning percentage in NFL history, 0 Super Bowls. So with the Wolves, I mean, they've been the owners for, 21, 22 years now. They've been just living in purgatory. Like, that's why I think this upcoming year, you ride it out with J.J. McCarthy. You do not go get Mac Jones. Please do not get Mac Jones. Because, yes, Mac Jones will raise the floor of the team next year. You'll win 10 games. Why don't you put your nuts on the table and either go all in on McCarthy, and if you're bad, you draft a quarterback. Instead, they'll just pander to the fans. They'll say, oh, look, we got a competent quarterback. We're going to go win 10 games, yada, 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 yada. It's concerning. It's concerning. But I'm with you. I mean, yeah, maybe they are due for a run of just some bad seasons, and it'll eventually you end up paying off. Like, you think about the Lions, like, they got Gibbs high up in the draft, Penei Sewell high up in the draft. Like, even the Bengals, like, when they were making Super Bowls, like, drafted Jamar Chase top 5, drafted Burrow number 1 overall. Like, sometimes you just got to be bad, to take a huge step forward. We'll see what happens. But appreciate all of you guys for tuning in today. If you guys made it to the end, give me a skull down below. As always, Skull Vikes.